I picked up doing some jobs for different people. Usually I only screen print for my own personal clothing brand on this channel, but the need has arisen to pick up some other jobs. So I picked up a couple clients, and one of the first ones is one of my friends. I do stand-up, and he's a different stand-up comedian. He has this joke about him not having a job, and that he needs to, he should become president because America needs him and he needs a job. So he's making a president t-shirt. He drafted it out and I put it into Adobe Illustrator, mapped the whole thing out. I exposed the screen. It didn't come out that good the first time, but I have a good one here. We're gonna test it out. First time doing a white underbase. It's gonna be on blue t-shirts. So I wanna make sure that the red pops out more and doesn't blend with the blue at all at the base of the t-shirt. But to be completely honest, I might not even need the white base, but we'll see how this turns out. I'm gonna test it out on a black t-shirt for right now. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna get the blue shirts in. We'll test it out on a couple blue shirts, see how it comes out, and then we'll get them to him. Hopefully by Tuesday or Monday, whenever I see him next. I am using a 160 mesh count for this job. Since it's just a bunch of very solid looking things, that's what I decided to go for. And I'm going to be using my 60 Duraludon Squeegee 16 inch. Hopefully this works. I think it might be a little bit too big, but yeah, let's do it. Might have not mixed this up enough, but it'll be okay. Let's go ahead and see. This might need a second pass. Yeah, see how it comes out a little bit faded. There's a little bit of there's almost no fibrillation going on, which is kind of surprising. Usually I have a little bit of fibrillation, but this is what we have. I'm gonna hit it with a heat gun, and we'll see how it comes out from there. Just gonna make sure that the whole layer makes it to around 200. It doesn't need to be fully cured, just dry to the touch. Let's just go ahead and get this flooded one more time. Some of it isn't going through, and I think it might be because my squeegee is so big I can't get an even push down on it. So I'll just try and do that one more time. Nice and good. That definitely helped, but there's still some ink sticking. So maybe I need to warm up the ink a little bit more. I don't know. I'll give it one more go. I'm just gonna flood it, do wet on wet. There we go, that looks very nice. There's some areas where it's not really sticking, but some of it is gonna be just red on top. I think these lines are gonna be red anyway, so I don't think it hugely matters, but I'm also gonna flatten it down with the heat press later on. Fuck, that scared me. Power shorted because it doesn't like me running the heat gun and the fucking other thing. Okay. Now, all of this is dry to the touch. Let's run the red. So I did notice that with this screen, I did have a little bit of trouble with it because I couldn't get all of the old emulsion out, but I'm still gonna try it out. It might have a little bit of dotting, but it might give it a cool vintage look. And there's another problem. This screen is burnt too high. So in order to actually get it to line up, I need to raise the other screen a little bit in order to get this really down on there. But here's how that first print comes out. I think it was pretty clean. Just need to flatten it with the heat press and this one's good to go. So now I've decided that I'm going to print the red and then line it all up with the white afterwards. I think that'll be the easiest way to go about this. That looks pretty good. I really like how this white one comes out. It is just slightly off, just like by a millimeter downwards. Bring it down a little bit. Keep that in mind for tomorrow. That is just slightly up. But I like how this came out. Like, it still looks physically good. I like the deterioration on the sides. Makes it look like a little bit more vintage. I just need to bring the screen down and to the left a little bit, and then we should be good. We got the blue t-shirts in. They look very nice. Some Hanes beefy tees. They're nice and super soft and super thick. These are a great alternative to like Gildan, to be completely honest. These are nice. Like, I would find this retail for like 30 bucks probably. It's just a nice t-shirt. This is how the red is coming out. There's a little bit of, you know, the last screen I had before reclaiming that other screen left over. You can see like there's splotches and it's not really straight because I had a halftone on it before and I had it on there for fucking ever. So I think I'm just gonna redo this whole screen. Sucks that it's raining today, but we'll do this really quickly. That went by very fast. My socks are wet, but not too bad. That came out clean. Easy peasy. There she comes. What a good girl. She's not paying attention, but she's still a good girl. Isn't that right, peepity? Yeah, look at that tail. Helicopter tail. So this screen came out super crisp and it washed out in 2 seconds. So that's how it's supposed to be. If you're not getting good exposure times, if it's taking forever to wash out your screen, you're probably overexposed because of your transparency. That's something that was happening to me. The transparencies I was using weren't dark enough, so it was letting some light through and it was exposing my stencil. So when I went to go wash it out, it wasn't washing out that quickly. But this one was done properly. The problem is that this screen is way too low compared to the other one. This one I'm gonna print with the old screen, and then I'm gonna fix it later. After fighting with this for a while, I think I've realized that the only way that I'm gonna be able to print it is sideways. So I have to just lay the t-shirt on there and like pray that it doesn't get lifted up. It's just because the way I expose the screens, one is like higher than the other one and it's not reaching where I need it to reach. And it's just gonna be such a nightmare. Like, I did this wrong from the start. So just know, pay attention when you're doing this kind of stuff, that everything is dialed in, because if it's one little piece isn't dialed in, you're fucked for the whole thing. So after a lot of fighting and a shower, I exposed another screen. Unfortunately, this is a 220 mesh, I believe, 200 mesh, I think. It is yellow, but I had burned the previous one a little bit too low, so it wasn't matching up correctly with the red, which was a little bit too high. So now I've burnt this screen to make sure that it lines up with the other one. This screen does have a little bit of problems, but nothing that like a couple passes won't fix. I'm pretty sure if I give it 2 hits, it should come out pretty nice. Let's try it out. There we go. So now let's float it. Let's give it a go. I do know that this is gonna have to be a 2-pass because it's a 250, 200 mesh screen. It looks pretty good for the most part. Everything's coming out good. Just need to cure it and give it another hit. Hopefully. Might need to be up just a little bit. That looks pretty good right there. So I'll give it a go. Like, honestly, worst case scenario, I just have to buy more shirts for him. It is still a little bit too low, but it's almost perfect. Just like almost perfect. I think that looks pretty clean. The only main problem I'm having is this star, and some of this isn't coming out, but the star, I think I can knock it out with a little bit of water, and it should work out pretty good. So that's what I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna clean off this screen, grab all the ink out of there, wash out the rest of that star, and then it should start working pretty good. And it fucking tore on me. It sucks dick, but it happens. So I had to reburn it again, but damn, that sucks. Look at that huge ass tear. We did come across a couple of mishaps during this print. Initially, I burnt the screen and the transparency wasn't dark enough, so it didn't come out that well. So we did it again. We printed a new transparency and we burnt the first screen. Came out pretty good, no issues there. And then we burnt the red screen, and the red screen was burnt too high up. No, when we first burnt the red screen, my screen had emulsion stuck in it, so it wasn't leaving a full crisp print. There was like splotches where it wasn't coming out. So we reburned the red screen, and that came out pretty good, but we burnt it too high up on the screen, and it didn't let my screens line up in order to do this 2-color print. And so I had to reburn one of the screens, so I decided to reburn the base screen, and we did that on a 350 mesh or 305 mesh, and it tore. Very cool. I was letting it dry and it just popped. Very sad. But what are we gonna do about it? You know, we had a bunch of issues trying to get this lined up. Took forever. I burnt another screen, and this one looks like it's working out pretty good. It didn't explode, which is a good sign. But here's what we're working with. Here's how that print's coming out. I like it. I think it comes out clean. You're supposed to use a lower mesh count for underbase, but I'm breaking the rules today. There's no real rules to screen printing. But I like how this comes out. The details are there. everything looks pretty crisp. The star comes out pretty good. It's not a super even print, but it gives it like a cool texture feel. And then the red is about the same size as the white. So something that happens is that since the white doesn't have that much choke on it, the white kind of pops out on some of the sides. But I don't think that's a big deal. I think this looks pretty good. So I've taken a picture of it and sent it to my friend who's getting these printed. And once he confirms that he likes how this came out, we're gonna go ahead and print all of them just like this. Lower mesh. I should use a lower mesh count for the underbase because using high mesh count means that I have to do 2 layers, and plus I'm having a little bit of trouble clearing the whole screen. So I might have to switch out squeegees or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but well, we're learning as we're going, you know? Like I had no idea how to do any of this last year, so here we are, and we still don't know what we're doing. But fuck it, let's get to work. So here we are done. We finished them all, there they all are. I think there should be 20 something in there, 22 shirts in there. I added a couple more since I messed up a couple of the blue shirts. I added in a couple of my own black shirts, but we finished it. We'll deliver them to him tomorrow, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know what the whole narrative of this video is gonna be yet, but hopefully it turned out good. And I'm sorry I have a Justin Bieber haircut right now. It's very grossing me out as well. But see you next time.